Welcome back to the John F. Kennedy Arboretum, where for Biodiversity Week we're continuing our focus on threatened conifers from around the world. We're standing here in the conifer conservation plot, a 10-acre spot in the Arboretum. And on my left here is Dan, one of the craft gardeners here. And on the right-hand side here is Gary. Gary is also a craft gardener. This collection represents 22 of the world's most threatened conifers. There are a total of just under 1,200 conifers on this site. We're standing here in front of Araucana, the monkey puzzle from South America. So Dan, is there anything you can tell me about this tree? I mean, I know we see this in gardens in suburban spaces, but we know it's a lot more significant than that.
Yeah, so Araucana, as it's commonly seen in urban areas and residential areas, is actually most endangered in its native range of Chile and Argentina. In its native range, it grows on volcanic slopes, where it's become endangered due to intensive agriculture, where they burn the woodlands off the sides of the mountains. Also, volcanic eruptions are devastating the ancient woodlands that exist. So preservation and conservation of this species is most important. This project aims to conserve the trees for future seed orchards, which may help to repopulate them native regions.
When I look at the Araucaria, there are these unusual mounds at the base, whereas the other species that I can see don't have this particular mound. Is there a reason for this?
Yeah, you're quick in saying, Dara. Yeah, this mound planting, as we call it, is adopted because in its native range, as mentioned on the volcanic slopes, the soil is rather thin, made up of volcanic ash deposits. Therefore, here in Ireland, with our heavier soil, with our wetter climate, the monkey puzzle doesn't like its roots to be wet. So therefore, with this mound planting, it gets the trees established quicker. It helps to keep the roots happy because they're in this mounded planting style, as you can see.
Another thing that we did in order to make the roots healthier and established better is that we collected soil from underneath some of our existing plants that are in the Arboretum of Monkey Puzzle to collect mycorrhizae fungi. We would rub them on the roots as they were potted up in the nursery, and then when it came out into the field. And the mycorrhizal acts as an assistant to the roots. It helps extend out into the ground, bringing in nutrients and water. So these have filled their entire mound in just a year. So we're very happy with how it's turned out.
Fantastic. Yeah. So I think we're at the very, very early stages of a 10-acre area that is, like we had said, probably the largest collection of conifer conservation program plants in the world. So this is a highly significant collection in terms just of its numbers, but also in its potential to act as a seed bank for, as Dan said, reintroduction programs and so on. So we're standing here with these young plants that are still quite small, but 10, 20 years time, you'll be visiting this site, walking through a prehistoric type woodland. So it is a place to watch, a very significant place. So I think what we'll do now is we'll turn around and we'll take a look at another one of these very rare species. And Gary's going to tell us a little bit more about its history and significance. So we'll head on down this way. So here we are at the lower end of the conifer conservation plot, standing beside this beautiful specimen of Fitzroya cupressoides. So Gary, I know you were involved with the team in planting this species. Can you tell us a little bit about its significance?
Sure. Well, like the monkey puzzle, it comes from Chile and Argentina. And an interesting thing about it is that it's one of the longest lived trees in the world. They estimate the oldest one could be up to 3,600 years old. But they're quite threatened in the wild for several different reasons. They've been over-harvested over many decades and hundreds of years because of their very good quality timber, used in furniture, building. In the past, it was used in shipbuilding. In terms of the seed that it produces, it does it infrequently. The seed is often not viable, and whatever does germinate can be eaten by livestock, which leads on to another big threat, which is the change of land use, where people want to remove the forests and start agriculture. So forest fires are putting supreme pressure on this. So something in the range of, there's 42% of its historical area has now been lost.
So I think what's incredible is we have, I think, 75 trees planted on this site.
That's correct, yeah.
So 75 trees, again, represents a huge number of individual trees, again, providing a potential for a living seed bank. Now, one of the things that's very noticeable, these are young trees, recently planted, but yet they're up at this height. So there's something very special going on here. Maybe, Dan, you were involved at the time of planting. Is there something about the site that's very
That's it
suitable?
there, yeah. So these trees actually like to prefer to grow in damper climates. So this area, the site in particular, was used for growing Fitzroya because it's one of the damper parts of the site. It has a heavier soil and more sheltered. So the trees seem to be really thriving, which is great, and which we'd actually planned in for this species.
I think we can say, looking at the Araucaria, with the mound planting, the addition of mycorrhiza, there's great care and attention has gone into the planting of these species, which is so important. Giving these plants a good start in their lives means that as mature trees they will probably be very healthy. So we're going to be looking again here at a very juvenile forest. 10 or 20 years time, this is going to be a very different space and something quite unique in the world. So look, we hope you've enjoyed this little glimpse of some of these important species, and we very much look forward to seeing you here during the week and in the future.